What's up guys, this is Cher talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll be talking about the update to the tier list made by me, Seujai, with feedback from the community. Well, it's been a while since I last made a video on this topic, but recently we have been updating the tier list based on our ideas and also on feedback. And well, not that much things changed, but I have to also explain the goals of the tier list and when it matters, when it doesn't, and why you should not be too worried about it. Because in the end, the best characters will depend on situations. It's not easy to streamline something and say that this character is better than the another. Hence why something changed in the way that we make the tier list. Well, first of all, the tier list is no longer ranked by order. It's just sorted by the weapon and then alphabetical. Because it was just too hard to say, look, this character is a little better than the one on the right. Why so? Because they are used in different situations. You cannot judge just based on that. We tried our best to in the past, and it was just not easy to. And the reason why we stopped updating the tier list was because we tried to find a way to make separated tiers for weapon types, for roles, and it was just not possible. It's just too many characters released on a month, and they clash in some of their roles, and the game is changing too much, too fast to keep up with that. So we have to keep the general tier list, but you always have information about the style on the style details tab. This will explain the good things and even the bad things about a character, and you should check the reviews and use them to decide if you should pull or not on a new banner. And you also be able to find new ratings here on this other tab with the bronze award, silver award, and gold award. Sometimes I'll be using plus or minus signs just to say that this one is a little better than the other, because well, in the past there was situations where the UDX silver banner deserves a silver award, but I was also giving a silver minus because it was only one character that really mattered, although it was a very good one. When we had this other banner with Tsubaki and Thiago being very good, so it was just a silver. And I have to explain that this will not always be correct. It's just something to kind of help a little understand when a banner is better than the other. With all that said, let's get back to the general tier list. And well, the first tier is tier 0. And here is actually when we have to start looking on this differently. It doesn't really matter the name we gave to the grades. Because, well, in gacha games, people don't really like when they see characters with lower grades, like B, like C, like D. It's something that just happens. I don't know why. There are some gacha communities that kind of accept, well, D tier, C tier, but usually when these characters are really, really trash. And the power creep in Romancing Saga Universe is very different compared to other games. Some characters released on the last tier are still useful. And, well, how can you say that they are very low tier if you can still use them in a way or another? You can see many characters that are here that are kinda old. Look, Madeline. She is super old, but she can still be used in a way. While in many gacha games, a character is just totally outclassed in 6 months and they are not useful anymore. The newest ones will be doing double, triple, or even more damage. So, there's also Remembrance Battle, where some characters will shine better in there than in normal boss fights. So you can still find some utility for many characters. And when you just assign them to a C grade or a D grade, people will just think that they are totally trash because, well, in this game we have double S characters, we have S characters, and then A characters, based on the rarity. So hence why many tier lists from gacha games try to stay with the most utility either on triple S or on double S. When you start getting to S and lower, it means that the character is outclassed, too niche, or just doesn't work so well anymore. Okay, so OP tier, also known as tier 0, will handle the most powerful units. Those really make a difference in a squad. And we chose all styles of Matriarch because they can inherit skills, and we still need the first for Piano of Victory or the third for Piano of Peace. And then we can use any version of Matriarch actually to have similar results, with the best ones being either the 4th version or the number 5. And then we have both versions of Leon with very low difference between their potential. Then we have Global X Fire and Press. That still is one of the best styles in the game. Her shield that negates damage can be used to trick the game in many different battles. And of course, Rag Robin, the best tank that can heal, counter, tank any squad just to help with many different roles. So these characters are unmatched. They are some of the best ones. I see many people saying that Time deserves to be on the top as well. I'm not entirely sure about this because Time, it's easier to replace. You can just place, for example, Diana. Now you can replace Time in some fights with Barbara or with Tsubaki. It's hard to replace the other characters on the top, much harder. Hence why I do believe that Time still deserves a triple S grade. But now back to the OP tier. These characters are unmatched. They should be important in any one account. Some of them are now pitchable. Well, the first version of Matriarch is pitchable in any banner that is premium, and not UDX or SaGa. So the same can be said for Final Press. Final Press still has her Christmas style to inherit another attack that gives another shield. This time just reduce damage, not fully negate. So for newcomers, it's always a good idea to go after those two styles. Now moving back to the Triple S tier. Well, many of these characters are meta and they are on the top of their games. Although they can be replaced by other ones as well, they still change the flow of battle or farming. But actually the game changed so much recently for how we farm that many of them just got demoted because it's just many ways to farm and no one is just there as a winner all the time. Hence why Arthur was downgraded. As you can see, he's now on SS Plus instead of being Triple S because there's many events where he just doesn't work. He can be placed as a general damage dealer, but there are better options and faster options as well. So, someone that got his place was the latest version of Albert. That he works just so well in just so many different content. As a farmer, as a boss specialist, as a remembrance damage dealer, hence why he's here. And again, it's just classified in order of weapon. So he's not the best Triple S character, just there because he uses his words. Mirza still is replacement for Rag Robin. He's just 1 tier below. Although he would take plenty of damage, he can still work by countering and healing back. So we needed at least one Silver Light user to stay in Triple S, and he was a chosen one. While we demoted Leon, and we demoted as well Gerard. Well, we still have one Silver Light user, that being the original UDX Mirza. For those who have Rag Robin or even Mask, he can still work even though he's pretty fragile these days. We have other buffers like Princess White Rose. She's a very sustainable one. We have the Christmas Fight and Press that still works pretty well as a shield applier as well. Then tank version of Gustav, pretty similar to Tsubaki, also pretty similar to Barbara. They all work in their specific niches. Darius is pretty strong and sustainable, so he deserved to be here. Then Tolkien, another buffer with a very good resistance. Then Mask. Well, Mask is usually the best replacement for Rag Robin most of the time. In Time, now, another one that can replace Rag Robin or even work together, like in many cases, because he's not just a healer, he's also a buffer. Well, Snowy and Ryu can still work in the place of Princess White Rose, depends on the number of enemies. Many people use them in the same content. This version of Goddess with Inheritance is pretty good because she heals the party and applies lots of different buffs. We have the original Global X Liza still here because she can still help a lot in big challenges when you need agility buffs, although not as frequent. She's probably close to a downgrade, just like Princess White Rose in my opinion, and even this Robin Joe. But we are still holding in here because there are not that many other options. Then we have the two versions of Silver, Global X and UDX, with UDX being a little better, but they hit different elemental weaknesses anyway, so they both deserve to be here, just like Schuzer, another very competent damage dealer that tries to replace Leon sometimes, but also works well together. How many times have I used them together? Enya just is a character that simply works, kind of similar to Arthur, if you think about it, that he just works as well. But Enya has something exclusive to her. She buffs BP to the party passively, so she fixes many broken cycles, and if you have her, you can replace characters from the future by just making old ones better. Then Diana, she is usually replaced by time, but since she can revive, she still has her place. In Ag fights, I still use her. We're talking about Tsubaki and Barbara already. Mariah is still pretty good if there are too many enemies in the battle. Igomao may deserve a downgrade pretty soon, but she has attack down. She's very good on Final Island, sometimes on farming. And Nawal's daughter, buffers are always good. And Robin Joe, like I said, she's still a good intelligence debuffer, good damage dealer, and good user for farming in Final Island. Now, after Joe, we will see the SS Plus tier, or tier number 2. That means these characters are still good. They often provide an opportunity better than the normal. They are a little above the standards. And you find many types of characters here, like Sparrow and Leonard. Those two styles are made for farming, and when they work, they are exceptional. They can solo farm with ease, but not every event is designed around them. Sometimes they can just stay in your box for weeks. And then we have the other types of damage dealers and supporters like Dark, pretty good, strong, but not in the same level as the other damage dealers. Or some other AoE farmers like Rick, that got old but still works, like Loot. Or even King Sei, a monster. King Sei is a candidate for Triple S, so please say here in the comments what you think about him. And characters that are not on their primes anymore, like the original Nawal's daughter that's too fragile. Or healers and debuffers that barely get used anymore. Other character that was also a candidate for Triple S is Global X Rouge. Some may agree, some may disagree. So also tell me what you think about this. So this is the third tier. These characters still operate a little above the standards, in my opinion. Now, the double S tier means characters that operate as they should be, with some weaknesses, some strength, but are more balanced characters. Here you find some good rotations, some niche usage, characters that just work, but they are not exceptional. So there are plenty of characters here that I will not be revisiting because I already made reviews for them, just to kind of explain why they are placed here. Then we get the SS minus, or the tier number 4. See, we are already on the tier number 4. Here we'll find characters that are a little outdated most of the time, or just don't perform as well, or they just work below the average. That means that they can be easily replaced. They don't have so much uniqueness around it. And if they do, this uniqueness is not worth enough. And after SS minus, you find characters that, well, have very, very niche utilities, or just don't provide enough. And after that, you just find very old units on tiers number 6, 7, 8, and 9. Because, well, we still separated then, although everything that you see below tier A is mostly unusable, while the other ones can still be used here and there depending on the circumstances. So I guess this kind of explains how the tier list works. Don't worry too much about the letters that we use, more about the grade system and why they are placed where they are. Always check the style details because this provides enough information. Always check the new style spending rating because they can change. And always check the reviews. They talk more about the characters and also make comparisons to all the other styles that have similar utility. We may also make mistakes. We are human. Also, don't forget to provide feedback on the comment section here on YouTube or on Reddit. With all that said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this can help the community in any way. I'll try to update other lists I made in the past. And if you want to support the channel, there are links on the description of the video. Hope to see you soon in the next video or next live stream. Bye.